Ambassador Krelvox stood before the Galactic Council with his 4 arms crossed behind his back. His purple scales caught the light of the chamber as he prepared to deliver his report on the newly discovered species called humans. The council members, representing 47 different civilizations, watched him with various expressions of curiosity and mild interest. Distinguished members of the council, Krelvox began, his translator device humming softly. I have completed my preliminary assessment of the planet designated as Earth and its dominant species. High Counselor Mirisith, an ancient being with silver tendrils flowing from her head, leaned forward in her seat. And what have you found, Ambassador? Are these humans suitable for integration into the galactic community? Krelvox pulled up a holographic display showing a small blue planet spinning slowly in the darkness of space. Earth is a relatively small world, located in a quiet corner of the galaxy. The humans have only recently achieved space travel, having landed on their moon approximately 100 of their years ago. Their technology is primitive by our standards. Several council members exchanged knowing glances. They had seen this pattern before. Young species, barely crawling out of their planetary cradles, always followed the same path. Their population stands at approximately 8 billion individuals, Krelvox continued. They have divided themselves into roughly 200 separate governing bodies they call nations. They lack unified planetary leadership. Admiral Dex, Orn of the Valari Empire, laughed, a harsh sound that echoed through the chamber. A divided species? They cannot even unite their own world? This will be simple. We have conquered dozens of planets with far larger populations. How many warriors do they maintain? Krelvox paused. He had been dreading this question. I must ask the Council to understand that my initial report may have contained some errors regarding the military capabilities of Earth. The High Counselor raised one of her tendrils. Errors? Explain yourself, Ambassador. When I first surveyed Earth, I observed their visible military installations and made calculations based on standard galactic models. I estimated their total military forces at perhaps 2 to 3 million individuals. Krelvox's scales shifted to a darker shade, a sign of nervousness among his species. I was significantly incorrect. Admiral Lexorn waved dismissively. What difference does it make? Whether they have 3 million or 5 million primitive soldiers, our forces would sweep through them in days. Admiral, Krelvox said quietly, the humans do not have 3 million soldiers. Or 5 million. He brought up new data on the holographic display. According to my revised calculations, Earth currently maintains approximately 20 million active military personnel across all their nations. The chamber fell silent. 20 million? Repeated Counselor Brendal of the Nexari Collective, his crystalline body flickering with surprise. That cannot be correct. No species maintains such a standing force without being engaged in constant warfare. The humans have a concept they call national defense, Krelvox explained. Each nation maintains its own military to protect against other nations. They have been fighting among themselves for their entire recorded history. High Counselor Mirisith leaned back in her seat. 20 million is a concerning number, but surely they lack the weapons to pose any real threat to a galactic power. Krelvox brought up another display, and his hands trembled slightly. This is where my report becomes more troubling. The humans possess weapons of extraordinary destructive capability. They call them nuclear weapons. A single one of these devices can destroy an entire city and render the surrounding land uninhabitable for generations. Many species develop nuclear technology, Admiral Nexorn said impatiently. It is a standard step in technological evolution. Most civilized worlds build a handful of such weapons before realizing their danger and abandoning them. The humans have not abandoned them, Krelvox said. They've built more. How many more? Krelvox displayed the number on the screen. The chamber erupted in chaos. 12,000 nuclear weapons? Admiral Nexorn stood up so quickly that his chair crashed to the floor behind him. That is enough to destroy their own planet several times over. What kind of insane species stockpiles such destruction? A species that has learned to fear itself, Kralvox answered. The humans developed these weapons during a conflict they called World War II. Within decades, they have built thousands more. They came close to using them against each other on multiple occasions. They call this period the Cold War. Counselor Brendel's crystalline form pulsed with anxiety. They have lived for decades with the constant threat of self-annihilation hanging over them, and they did not destroy themselves? They did not. They continue to build these weapons to this day, and these are merely their largest weapons. Kralvox changed the display. The humans have also developed chemical weapons capable of killing millions, biological weapons that could wipe out entire populations, and conventional explosives of enormous power. Their largest non-nuclear bomb can destroy everything within several kilometers of its impact point. High Counselor Mirasith raised her hand for silence. The chamber slowly quieted. Ambassador Kralvox, I want you to be very clear. Are you telling this council that a species which has not yet developed faster than light travel possesses enough weapons to pose a genuine threat to our invasion forces? Kralvox nodded slowly. I am telling you something worse than that, High Counselor. I am telling you that the humans could devastate any invasion force we send, and they would do so without hesitation. But there is more you need to understand about this species. He brought up images of human history. Battles, wars, conflicts spanning thousands of years. The humans have been fighting since they first learned to pick up stones. Their entire history is written in blood. They have fought over resources, over territory, over beliefs, over pride. They have never known true peace. And in all that time, they have become exceptionally skilled at one thing above all others: warfare. Admiral Lexorn said quietly, all arrogance gone from his voice. Yes, the humans have turned warfare into an art form. They have developed strategies and tactics that have been refined through countless generations of conflict. They train their soldiers to fight in any environment, under any conditions. They have warriors who can survive in frozen wastelands, in burning deserts, in dense jungles, and beneath their oceans. Kralvox pulled up information on specific human military units. These are what humans call special forces. Elite warriors trained to perform impossible missions. A single team of these soldiers can eliminate enemy leadership, destroy critical infrastructure, and disappear without a trace. There are hundreds of thousands of such individuals on Earth. The council members stared at the images of grim-faced human soldiers in various environments and situations. There was something in their eyes that made even the most hardened warriors among the council feel uncomfortable. But surely, Counselor Zeltara of the Andari spoke up, her voice wavering. Surely if we presented ourselves as peaceful, they would not resort to such violence. We could offer them technology, trade, membership in our community. Kralvox turned to face her. Perhaps the humans are capable of great cooperation and kindness. They have formed alliances among themselves, created art and music of remarkable beauty, and achieved scientific breakthroughs through collaboration. But you must understand something fundamental about human nature. He paused, ensuring every council member was listening. The humans protect their own. If they perceive a threat to their families, their nations, or their world, they will fight with absolute ferocity. They have a saying, there is no stronger force than a human fighting for those they love. And if we were to threaten Earth, we would not be facing 20 million soldiers. We would be facing 8 billion humans who have spent their entire existence preparing for exactly this kind of fight. Admiral Lexorn slowly sat back down. You are saying that the entire population would resist. Every single one of them. The humans have another concept they call total war. It means mobilizing every resource, every individual, every industry toward a single goal of victory. They have done this before, during their world wars. Within years, they transformed peaceful nations into engines of destruction, capable of producing weapons and soldiers at rates we cannot comprehend. Krelvox showed footage of human industrial capabilities. Massive factories producing vehicles, aircraft, and weapons. Shipyards building enormous vessels. Training facilities turning ordinary citizens into soldiers. During their last major global conflict, the humans produced over 300,000 aircraft, hundreds of thousands of armored vehicles, and millions of weapons. And that was with technology from over 80 years ago. Their current industrial capability is vastly greater. High Counselor Mirasith had grown very pale. What is your recommendation, Ambassador? Krelvox switched off the display. My recommendation is that we do not, under any circumstances, engage in hostile actions against Earth. These humans are not a species to be conquered. They are a species to be befriended, very carefully, over a very long period of time. If we can bring them into our community peacefully, they would become our greatest allies. Their warriors would be without equal. Their determination would be unmatched. Their creativity in developing new weapons and strategies would benefit us all. And if we cannot bring them in peacefully? Admiral Lexorn asked. Krelvox met his eyes. Then we leave them alone. We avoid their region of space entirely. We pretend they do not exist. Because if we provoke them, if we give them a reason to unite against us, they will not stop until they have either been destroyed completely or have destroyed us. There is no middle ground with humans. They do not surrender. They do not forget. And they never stop fighting until the fight is finished. The council chamber remained silent for a long moment. Finally, High Counselor Mirasith spoke. Motion to classify Earth as a protected zone, with no unauthorized contact permitted until further notice. All in favor? Every single hand, tendril, and appendage in the chamber was raised. Far across the galaxy, on a small blue planet, 8 billion humans continued their lives completely unaware that they had just terrified the most powerful civilizations in existence. They went to work, raised their families, and complained about traffic and weather. They had no idea that somewhere in the stars, an entire galactic community had just decided that humanity was simply too dangerous to disturb. And perhaps that was for the best, because if the humans had known there were aliens out there, they would have started building bigger weapons immediately. That was simply who they were. A species forged in fire, tempered by conflict, and ready to face any threat the universe might send their way. The galaxy had seen many wonders. It had witnessed the rise and fall of countless empires. But it had never seen anything quite like humanity. And now that they were wise enough to be afraid.